What's up, YouTube? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com for another free nightly video. Taking a look at the markets today here. So I decided that basically, over the past few days, we've kind of gone, I think, a little bit too far, too fast, right? So we got this massive ish sell-off, if you will, right, from a daily chart perspective. And then, over the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 days, we kind of erased the entire thing with just 2 red bars on the daily chart there, right? So we just continue to truck higher. Even gap downs are getting bought up, and we're just continuing to make a run for it here. So the question becomes, like, is this thing going back to all-time highs now at this point, or will we start to see some sort of weakness in here, or maybe even a bit of consolidation before we actually end up getting up to those highs? So, and I think in part, I think both of those kind of are potentially true here. So with that being said, what I'm thinking and watching here for the rest of the week, I'd like to see us come up and trade this 56, 54, 75s. And then from there, if we can find some resistance there and we can start to, maybe show a little bit of weakness, then I like the idea of a move back down here into 55, 62 and a quarter. So it's about a 100-point drop, right? So another 20 some odd points to the upside. And then from there, I think we can fall about 100 points, right? Now, if we don't and we just go sideways from there or just blow right through it, then the only thing I have above there is 56, 95, 75s, which in a perfect world, we would come up here, trade this 56, 54s, come back down here, trade 55, 62s, and then from there, the next time up, we would end up getting, that 130-point move and trade up there into 56.95.75s now. So this market, extremely strong. Longs, for me, at the moment, are going to start to become even tougher to take just from the pure fact of how far extended we are, if you will, right? We're basically right back to where we were just before that entire move down. In just a matter of a few days, right? So for me, that's a little bit too quick. The way in which I'm going to be doing that, though, in terms of how I'm going to be looking for long opportunities, is still just using the divergence indicator, right? So the divergence strategy combined with levels, if I want longs, that's going to be the way for me here, considering we really don't have too many levels to work with here. And we're just, again, 10 bars straight to the upside, basically. So there was a really nice one here today coming off the 19,532 quarter level. You can see the signal in place and everything there. Ultimately, I was not at the desk to capture this one here at about 10:15 this morning. But what you can see there, we do trigger the signal. S&Ps make the new lows. NASDAQ makes the new lows, get the signal. Russell makes the new lows and gets the signal. And here is the Dow being the one not getting the new lows here and giving us that divergence. So that's going to be the way in which I'm looking to play this going forward. In terms of individual equities, Lilly was the big one from last week. This thing moved really, really nicely for us here last Wednesday. So we were able to capture both Tuesday and Wednesday of this thing. And she was a big mover, right? I think it had a little bit more potential going into the end of last week, and it just kind of, fizzled out and settled right around 9 1/4 there. The same thing was true too today, which is interesting. Something I noticed was Meta. Meta was a little bit weaker relative to, the rest of the names, right? If we look at something, like Meta, it's only up 0.35%. We look at like something like Tesla, it's up 3% today, right? And just still continuing to climb here. The next level I have above here is up to 232.47 here. So this thing's got some room to move. Netflix as well. I think this is going to be approaching, relatively soon here in about 12 points, give or take, all-time highs here. So all-time highs are 700.99 in this thing, and we're currently printing 688. So we're just about there. But again, 2.15%. Same thing for AMD here, up 4.52%. Same thing for something like an NVIDIA here, up 4.35%. So some massive moves, across the board for a number of these names. And a couple of them are standing out to me, like Meta and a few others that are just kind of sitting here that I think may present some opportunities later in the week, depending on how this market shakes out. Now, in terms of earnings here, We do have an earnings calendar for this week. There's some decent names coming up later. Obviously, Lowe's, Target, Snowflake, Zoom could end up being interesting. Baidu, and that's pretty much it. AAP is sometimes really fun. It's typically a bit wilder of a name though on some of the opens and things. So definitely don't touch that one if you're relatively new to options and spreads and things. But another one here that I'm watching is going to be in PANW. So PANW just reported after the bell today, and you can see it's currently printed about $352. Highs up here to 360s. And when we pull up the weekly chart, I think what's interesting here is, all-time highs are 380s up there. I've got a level in place at 373.41s. So I'm going to be keeping this one on watch here tomorrow and just seeing how we can hold that opening print. If we can open somewhere, give or take, around this 350, 355, that'll leave us some nice room to kind of run up and tag those 362s as well. And it's not too big of a gap from what would be expected out of this thing, right? It's a really only moving, 10 points here in after hours. It moved 9 today alone, just a normal, quote unquote day for it, right? So definitely not out of the realm of possibilities that this thing could see 373.41s. And with a strong market, I think at the moment, this becomes my favorite name on the board for long into tomorrow. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys in tonight's free video. Take care, hope it helps, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.